Okay, so we're going to talk about our next topic is about evaluating expressions. When you evaluate an expression, it means you're going to use the substitution property. So let me show you. So you're pretty much going to use the substitution. So that's what you're using. So evaluate means to get the answer. So evaluate in its can't spell it, simple simplified form. So it means to get the answer into its simplified form. So let me give you an example. Try this one. Okay. So 4x minus 5y, let x be 3 and y be 2. So you're going to let x be 3. Where there's an x, you put 3. Here's a y. Wherever there's a y, you put 2. And I want you to make sure that you understand this, that 2 equals y and y equals 2. 3 equals x, x equals 3. So, here we go. 4. I like to use parentheses because it helps you organize what you're trying to put in. And remember, this is 4 times whatever you put in there. This is 4 times whatever you put in there. We're going to put 3 in there. So that's why I use parentheses. So it's going to be 4, 3 minus parenthesis, because that's where you're going to put the y in. So that's where 2 is going to go in. Okay, so all I did is I copied this, and wherever you see the x, I put 3. Where you see the y, I put 2. And that's what this looks like. And then do the PEMDAS. So we did 4 times 3, which is 12, minus 5 times 2, 10, and what's 12 minus 10? And that's all you're doing. You're just taking these answers and plugging them in here and here, whatever you see. And I can give you a big long one and you'd be like, okay, I can just fill those in. That's pretty much all you're doing. So you're just multiplying those. So let's do some more. Okay. So a little harder one. Let A be 2 and B be 2. So you're going to let A and B be the same number. If you don't like that, let it be something else. But these are the values that make this work. So here we go. We're here. Remember, you're using the substitution property on this. So, we have minus 8 plus parentheses, 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 because that's where AB is. So you're putting parentheses where those don't exist yet. Plus 1. I'm just taking this whole thing and I'm rewriting it without the parentheses, without the numbers. So now I'm going to take these guys here and plug these in here. So this one is A. So put A is 2. I see B, put B here. Now, solve it. So we got negative 8. 2 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Plus 1. Plus 1. You see how I'm bringing those two down each time? You see how I'm bringing these two down all the time? Because I'm not doing anything with them yet. But remember, a lot of students forget this part. They forget to bring things that should be attached to the answer. So they might say, okay, well, that's my answer there. No, it's not, because you forgot this one here. So be very careful on this. Now, just add, just like you do PEMDAS. For this one, we can go negative 8 plus 2. So use your number line. You get negative 6. And that's your answer for that. You might need to use your number line. Okay. So here we go. Number 3. Try this one. Some of these are your homework problems that I'm going to give you, so this you might want to look at this. So, you're going to let, this is 7 times negative 3 times S. That's an S, by the way. I use my S's a little bit different than my 5s. Sometimes I do my 5s like this. Sometimes I do it like this, or something like that. But my S's look like 5s sometimes. So they're with a little line, so that means an S for like Sam. Means like for Sam. That's what I do for my S's there. So that's my S, my way of doing S's. So here we go. Parenthesis, minus 3, parenthesis, because you have that, plus 6 parenthesis, close parenthesis. Do you see how I'm doing this very gentle and very easy? So, S is W. Okay, so now I have that I'm going to plug in. I'm going to plug this in now. So, here we go. 7, by the way, this is how I use 7s. Just makes it so much easier to look at. Some people don't do it with a line, some people do. It's just a way to abbreviate 7. 7. Okay, here we go. 3 times. Now what goes in that parentheses? Remember? So you're going to go S, which is a 7, plus 6 times what? 2. And a 2 goes in there. And now, just go ahead and do the multiplication like you do PEMDAS. Now you're going to see like, whoa, Mr. Boss, or whoever, there's a parentheses, there's a parentheses inside of a parentheses. And I'm going to be like, that's okay. Do the inside first. So, do the inside first. Okay, so 7 parentheses, -3 times 7. -3 times 7 is -21. Okay. Plus 6 times 2 is 12. And then close your parenthesis. You see how I'm keeping it very organized and the process is flowing? That I'm writing this down. I'm not cheating myself on any of this. I'm not skipping around too much. As you get better at this, it's your choice to skip around a little bit. So now, according to PEMDAS, what do we do first? We do parentheses, right? So what is -21 plus 12? If you have a hard time with this, who has more negatives? -21, right? So your answer is going to be negative. And are you going to increase or decrease? You're going to increase. So you could go, let's see, 21, is that going to be 8? Let's see. So how you could do this, you can go 21 minus 12, and you can go across 10, 8, yeah, 8. So your answer should be -8. Now, PEMDAS, multiplication. And 7 times 8, negative, let's see, remember this, so 8 times 8 is 64, 7 times 8 is 56. See how I did my 5s? -56. Okay, let's do some more. Number 4. Okay. So try this one. So this one looks a little bit different, but you can do it. P minus R divided by 3. And you're going to be saying, well, we don't use the division symbol very often in math. Well, you look at it this way. Division is really just a line or any old easy. You do it this way. You do it this way mostly now. This way is like the old way. This is what they taught you in elementary school. But this is what we're going to be doing now. So let's set this up. P, so let's we're going to rewrite it to make it use of our time. So P minus, how do you write this? How do you write this as a fraction? Okay. That is that. Now, what I'd like you to do is want you to plug in what you're missing. So we're going to look up here. We're going to take this down there. So P equals -4. So -4. Do you see how I'm not really using parentheses anymore to do this? Sometimes it's just easier not to write them, and sometimes it is. When you have a big one like this, it's nice to use parentheses. So, -4 minus divided by 3, and what's the R going to be? R is 3. Okay. So now simplify. So now you're going to simplify. It means get it into its lowest terms. So -4 minus, what's 1/3 divided by 1/3? 1 whole. Okay. So what's -4 minus 1? -5. So -5 is going to be your answer for this one up here when you have these two as your variables. Okay. Okay, another one. Okay. I make this a little bit harder. That's a Z, like for zebra, and minus parentheses x minus x minus x. Okay, so let z equals 2, x equals Number 5 looks kind of scary, but really it's not. I'll show you why. Okay. So we have z, or we have z minus parentheses. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 x's. Well, you can sit here and go, well, I need to put 10 in for those x's. You could do that. So 10 minus 10 minus 10. Close parentheses. So, and then you can say, okay, my z is 2. So I can go 2. Okay, that's fine. Keep going. 2 minus parentheses. Well, we have positive 10 minus 10. What's positive 10 minus 10? They go out. There's 0, right? So what do you still have left? I still have negative 10. Okay. So, keep going. I'm hoping you understand this right here. This is negative something and negative something. So think of it this way. These two here, what's a negative times a negative? Positive, right. Or you can do it this way, or a negative 1 times negative 10. Negative 1 times negative 10. There's actually a negative 1 right here. That's something that we're going to look at again. If you don't get it now, don't worry about it. But there's really a negative. So what's a negative times a negative? Positive. So you should have 2 plus 10. And what's your answer going to be? It's 12. Okay. I'd like to do one more at least before I let you go. Try this one. So this is number 6. Look at that one. So, I have to give you some values though. There's your values. Now, if you want to, you can stop this video and try this on your own and see where you go wrong. If you get it right. I think that most of you need to stop this video before I even solve them and see what you can do and then correct those mistakes. That's how we learn a little bit. So here we go. I want to plug his stuff in. So first off, step one, you're going to plug in. Plug in this. So you're going to go P, which is 5 squared. 5 squared. Minus, if for some of you, you can put a 1 here, or you can just leave it. What's the R value? -3. Okay, you see how there's a -3 there? Okay, you see how there's a -3? Minus 2 divided by 6. Okay, so now 2 use PEMDAS to solve the rest. Okay, so we're going to go, first thing we should do is parentheses, so we can do that, but can we also do this as well? Can we, because this is nothing, there's nothing there to kind of combine with it, so we can go 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, minus parentheses, -3 on the number line, minus 2. So here's your number line. Here's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's -5. Here's -2. Here's -3. So we're gonna start here, and we're gonna go down 2. 1, 2. Remember, more negatives. So that's going to be -5. Okay, step 3. Solve or evaluate. So, negative times a negative, positive. Okay. And then, what's your answer? Gonna be 30. So, I'm going to tell you something. These answers here, these inputs only work for this one to be 30. One more time. These only work to give us 30. Only work for 30. If you had these to be a different number, so let's say this was 6, this was -3, this might not be 30. And I want you to kind of get the hang of it. It matters what values you are interpreting or getting into this guy right here. So I want you to practice these 6. I want you to watch this video again if you have to go through this. Take the time you need to do this, because there's, like I did, there's a step-by-step process, and I laid this out. Okay? So, good luck. Have fun.